Peace and high frequencies. Just getting up from the dream space, and I want to go into the dream this morning because it had a lot of symbolism, and I want to share it with you all. So I'm at a Kojic building and convention or something, but I know I'm at this building, and I have to go up to the top floor. So I get on this elevator to go up to the top floor, and while I was on the elevator, I was on like this phone or something, but it took me all the way up to the floor, and I get there, and J.L. Patterson Sr. was there, and he had a protege with him. And just so you all know, J.L. Patterson Sr., if you're not familiar with Church of God in Christ, he transitioned in like 1988, 1989, somewhere in there. Senior did. And this was who was in my dream. So I go up to the top floor, and I get off the top floor, and I remember him talking to me and telling me that he wanted to show me something. And so we walk over to like this wall, and he pulls back or, puts in some type of code or something, I don't know. But these sacred geometry symbols are all over the wall once it's uncovered. And it's a bunch of circles and lines, and it was just some really, really nice symbols. I just loved it. And then they were kind of like, if you looked at them long enough, they would take you into another dimension. And then he told me, he was like, I love sacred geometry. And I was like, wow, me too. And it was like we were looking for something. So it was me, his protege, which was another guy, younger guy, and J.L. Patterson Sr. And so, and it felt like it was another female energy, but I can't really make it out. So I sit down, and I had on something where you couldn't see my sacred geometry on my back. I was hiding it. I didn't want him to see it. And so we were searching for something, and his protege said, I know how we can get to it. We can use dark magic. And when I looked up at him, he had like this black sheet over his face. And I was like, okay, like that. And so next I remember J.L. Patterson Jr., Senior, he sat down, and then we were talking. I remember him talking, and then the female energy that was there too was talking and sitting next to him. And then all at the blue, he just became really still. And we was like, oh my God, he's dead. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. So we tried to shake him, move him. And then his right leg bent like his knee to his chest. And I was like, what is this, rigor mortis? Like, what is going on? And then it straightened out. And I said, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's not dead. What's going on? And the protege was like, yeah, maybe this is just something going on after, you die. You kind of like have your body is adjusting, your spirit leaving all the blood flow and everything. So I was like, oh my God. I said, call the family. And we was like, no, we can't call the family. I was like, yeah, call the family. And so it called the family. By the time the family got up there, he had woke up and he started talking. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then his granddaughter came there, and I know them personally, but I'm not gonna call names. She came, and when she came up, she saw me, but she didn't speak, so I had to speak to her first. I was like, hey. And she was like, oh, hey. It was kind of like real vague, like she didn't want to say anything. And I was like, okay. And I was like, what's going on? She had some water. She was like, he's just dehydrated. You have to make sure he drinks water, stays hydrated. Give him some water. So I gave him some water. And then the dream shifts. And I'm going to go into the second dream later. But I want to go back and decode this dream before I move into another dream, because y'all know I be dreaming, y'all. Me going to the top floor in this elevator. First of all, before I go there, just so you all know, the Church of God in Christ people are here in Memphis. And usually they gather by the thousands, usually about 25, 30,000 people here. I grew up Church of God in Christ ever since I was a little girl. And I know the history. If you all have watched this channel or on my Black Fit Witch Instagram, I go into, a lot of the history that I know about Church of God in Christ and Charles Harrison Mason that founded COGIC. So anyway, they're here. So their energy is in the city, and I'm tapping into that energy. I go to the top floor. It's almost like going to the crown chakra. I'm going to the top of the crown of my mind and my thoughts, my highest self. I'm shooting up, shooting up the Shishuma, right? So I get out the elevator, and like I said, J.L. Patterson Sr. was there, and a protege, and he wanted to show me some sacred geometry. Now, like I told you all before, I definitely believe that there is magic going on. Of course, the founding of it was a fusion of hoodoo and Christianity or Catholicism, kind of like meshed in together to create COGIC. So you have the ancient knowledge that's embedded within us, and then you also have the lies that they created from our ancient knowledge fused together. So I feel like when he uncovered and the sacred geometry, and the guy had the black sheet over his head saying we can do dark magic, that was them like revealing to me some information about Kojic that a lot of people don't know. They just see surface information, but they don't have the depths of what is really being done behind the scenes. It's like it's behind the scenes. They are tapping into energy. They're doing ritual work. They're working with various energies and deities. And I feel like that's what was being uncovered. So then J.L. Patterson Sr. passes out, right? I think he's gone. Because really, he's not here in this reality, remember? He transitioned here in this reality in like the 80s, 88, 89, one of those. I can't remember. I was little. But he transitioned during that time, right? So by his family coming up. Remember, they said, call his family. And then his granddaughter said, give him some water. That is the energy of them being here, reviving him. They are here. I'm sure they have given some type of acknowledgement to J.O. Patterson Sr. For the work that he did with COGIC, and especially his family. So the water given to him is like pouring libations. It's like pouring, you know how we pour libations during before we start our ceremony, or we go into ritual when we're at our altar. Most of the time we'll pour water on a plant, and we'll call out the names of our ancestors as we start to open up the way. And so that was that exchange of giving him water. Giving J.O. Patterson Sr. water was pouring libations, or pouring out water and raising up his energy and sending energy to his name. And doing that, they've also been raising up energy for the spirit that they've cultivated of Kojic. And they've also poured libations and raised up the energy and the spirit of J.O. Patterson Sr. that I've been able to go into and tap into that. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of things that they're doing is not what they seem to be. They haven't had the opportunity to go behind the scenes and really know a lot of the magic that these bishops or these higher ups are doing, who are aware. They only get to see the surface. A lot of just like the church members, you know, those people that just come out of town just, you know, for worship. They don't understand everything, and they have no clue of what's going on. So yeah, that was my dream on Kojic. Okay. Now, I had a second part of the dream. I'll probably come back later. I don't want to overload this message with that because they were so totally different. So I'm going to leave it here. So you all, if you have any insight into the dream, I love hearing others' perspectives on the dream state. It gives me a different insight into what I received in the dream. And just listening to other people's perspective sometimes just takes me through a path that I may not have even thought of. So if you have anything you want to share, please do. Have a wonderful day, and I'll leave you in peace and high frequencies.